Welcome to EdScoop TV. I'm Wyatt Kash, and we're here at the SETDA Leadership Summit. And today joining us is Sam Jordan. Sam is the Education Technology Coordinator with the Alaska Department of Education and Early Development. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Tell us just very briefly the number of districts you serve and the students in your role.
Yeah, so we're a huge state, but we've got just 54 districts. We serve 130,000 students, give or take.
Oh, great. And I know it's a big state, so it's a lot to cover. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about, I know you're working on a variety of initiatives throughout the year, but what's one initiative that you're most excited about?
You know, we created a focus on digital citizenship this year, and we started the year out with that, kind of in cooperation with Common Sense Media and the initiative that they do in October. And we were really pleased with being able to start the year that way, get students oriented both towards, being safe online, but also thinking about copyright issues. And we had a really good week of discussion about that. We had discussion amongst teachers. We had students working on lesson plans that dealt with digital citizenship, and then watching videos that kind of gave them a point of reflection. And we were really pleased with how that went.
Tell me a little more about what you sense the impact is or will be on your districts, and maybe a tip or recommendation for other districts trying to do what you're doing.
So, we wanted to create that just foundation. Our state, along with everybody else, we are beginning to utilize digital technology, digital curriculum, and social media, even at the school level. We see lots of teachers who are engaging their students online, who are engaging their students through social media. We want to make sure that they're thinking about the safety issue, the representation, how they portray themselves online, the kinds of ways that they engage with each other in an appropriate way that's respectful, and also recognizing that that there are kind of proprietary copyright issues that they need to consider when they're doing that. And so I think we're hoping that starts at a young age. We certainly provided some material, even at a small age. You can begin to just think about what's being safe. Who do you talk to or not talk to, and also we engage parents in that process as well. So I guess I would encourage teachers, as they're starting to utilize technology, to balance it out with teaching some students just some reflection on how they use it, when they use it, the time that they use it during the day, how long they use it, and also bring parents into that discussion, because that really this is a community issue. It's not just a school issue.
Well, looking ahead to next year and beyond, what other technologies are you, or other priorities rather, is your department working on?
We are looking at a more widespread discussion around the state with regard to personalized learning. So we have some really star districts who have taken the initiative early on, are really doing a very thoughtful job thinking about how to personalize the learning of all their students. We have an incredible geography in Alaska, and we have lots of schools that are really out in the middle of nowhere. They're on islands, they are off the road system, and so getting teachers out into those schools that have every curriculum is difficult. And so some of those school districts who early on adopted personalized learning, they started thinking about how do we get not only great teaching out to those, maybe doing virtual connection, bringing teachers out there virtually, but also allowing students out there to really use their own interests to drive what they are doing in the class, and then connecting them with resources. And so we're looking at taking the example of those great districts who started that process and then spreading that around the state.
And briefly, Alaska is the ultimate rural area. How are you getting technology out to all those districts, and particularly broadband and so forth? It's
a challenge, quite honestly, but we work in collaboration with some of the telecom partners. We have local telecoms, not necessarily the big ones, and they've been building really innovative broadband networks around Alaska for years, but it's really a combination of things like Arctic fiber networks, as well as satellite deployment that's making things better all the time. And so we keep in contact with those companies, making sure that they consider schools in their planning process as they look at infrastructure, and not just look at it as clientele that they're trying to gain, but also the aspect and the impact on communities and schools.
So looking longer term, in the broader development of ed technology, what kinds of technologies are you looking at for the districts that you're serving?
We want to be able to connect teachers. One of the issues that I think a lot of teachers in more rural and remote districts face is that they're isolated and they don't necessarily have that peer group, that professional learning network in order to talk about their craft, to think about curriculum, and gain resources from other people's perspectives. And so we're looking at leveraging some of the ways that we can connect now, either virtually, using Skype or FaceTime, and beginning to connect people so that they feel less isolated, beginning to find ways for them to share resources across the state, and hopefully also plug into some of the national resources for curriculum, the open educational resource networks that are starting to really grow out there. We want people to feel like they have people behind them and not get isolated. I think that will contribute to more of our teachers staying around. We do have a high turnover rate for teachers and administrators, and we want to start as much as we can keeping those folks for at least a few years.
Well, Sam Jordan, thank you so much for taking time to join us here at SETDA. I really appreciate some of your insights that you shared with us.
All right, thank you very much.
Look for more of our coverage on EdTech at edscoop.com. I'm Wyatt Kash. Thanks for watching.